Hey, it's Allie Edwards, and this is December Daily, day 13 for 2020. Today I'm working on the back of the half circle. Yesterday I ended up doing this really fun shaker pocket page with a photo as the background down here, the photo of our wrapping paper, and then some word phrase stickers up above. So today I'm working off the back of this paired with a page that I put together in product play this year that played with texture paste. So these pieces on here are super thick texture paste circles that I liked because they kind of looked like frosting. And so we are big cupcake fans around here, and I knew that potentially we would be decorating cookies or cupcakes. And when one of our local friends, local businesses, Sassy Cupcakes, put out a note or an email or I don't know, I saw it somewhere, social media, that they were doing cupcake decorating boxes this year, which was super fun. I ordered them, and so I have a couple of the cupcakes that the girls and I did. This was definitely, the girls were into it, the boys not so much. They ate them, of course, but that was about it. So my plan here is to cut this page, using this again as a template, right? Cutting this page in half, having half of the cupcakes essentially be on here. And then in these other spots here, these are all cards from the main kit this year. They were 3x4 cards, and I just cut the circles out. What I want to do is I'm going to put the number on one of them. I'm going to put cupcakes on the third one, and then on the fourth one I may just write a little story, or I have a photo of the girls working on the cupcakes that I might put there as well. Additionally, my plan is to emboss the number 13 on here, probably like partially off the circle. I also wanted to stamp just cupcakes. That was what I was thinking, using this stamp set. Again, it's going to go off the edge, so I'm not exactly sure how this is going to look, but we're going to go for it anyway. And then just a little bit of writing or something like that on here. Again, this isn't really necessarily a story that I feel that needs a lot of additional words. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. The last couple of days here have been less word heavy stories, and it just kind of depends on how you're feeling and how your month is going and what things you have to say. In the case of the last few days, it's just been really fun to just be able to have things that I'm documenting that are going into the album as a representation of what our year looks like. And there'll be more opportunities for writing in the coming days as well. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in, again, starting with cutting this. I think I'm going to have this it be this half. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I keep going back and forth. But essentially it will be about this size. I think I'll probably go with the white one there. I printed my photo. This is the same as yesterday, and I can't remember if I said this or not. It's 8 1/4 tall. 8 1/4 tall, 8 1/4 wide. That's what I cropped my photo to be, so that it would fit right on the page like this, so that I could just lay this down on here. And we might go out a little bit more there. I'm going to use this to start, and then I will probably hand cut the rest of it going on here. Obviously I'm covering up this page, which is not that big of a deal to me. You can always stamp right on top of here. I'm just going to cover it with a photo because I like the shape of the page there. Just trying to make sure I get it in the right, about in the right spot, about halfway through. And then I'm going to start cutting around the edge. I do have that Mary tag on there, so I'm not going to be able to cut right around there. So I'll probably just do a little bit of an abbreviated version there when I get to that part. Yeah, I think I'm just going to stop there on that one and then come in from the other side. Actually, I might just go like this. This is easier. It's easier for me to cut around it this way. So if I just trim this part off but come in right here, then I'll know where the circle is still on there. Let's see if we can get that in the right spot. Okay, so that is super fun. This also leaves space. So a couple things I thought of as I was getting this set up was I thought about maybe journaling around there on the computer, but what I might end up doing is handwritten journaling. I think that is what I'll do, because that'll leave space for me to stamp emboss, and then have potentially that other little photo of Anna and Audrey. We'll see how that goes. But that is super fun. I really like how that looks as a companion to this page. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down on the back. And then we'll go from there. No plans to stitch this. I don't need to go back through the sewing machine again. This one will just sit on top, and then you'll see the stitching on the page below there. Okay, so fun. All right, and then there's always a little bit of adjustment, seems like, to do once I get it on there. So today with the embossing, I have a couple different copper embossing colors that I was thinking I was gonna try. One is like a tinsel embossing, I think, a Ranger tinsel embossing. So it had a copper tinsel, so it has more kind of glitter look to it. And then I also have a copper that's a super fine detail. So I was gonna test both of those out because there is the copper foil on this piece that was laid on top of the texture paste. And then I think I'm just gonna use green for the cupcake part. That's kind of what I was thinking, like green for the cupcakes, and then an embossed number 13 on there. Coming back, there was a question yesterday about this hole punch. Again, it's from We Are Memory Keepers, and let's see if I can get it in here. I do list all the supplies if you're watching this on YouTube. If you click on the description there, I have all the supplies listed, including supplies that I might not show in the video, but are ones that I use regularly. My printers, these kind of tools like this that you'll see pop up pretty regularly in my videos. So those are, I always try to list them in the description, but if you have other questions, of course, you can always ask them as well. Okay, that's super fun. I think I'm gonna love handwriting around the edge because it's gonna feel like it kind of finishes it off there. And then the Mary's like tucked inside, so that's super cute. So for this next part here, like I said, I wanted to test out the embossing, these two different embossing powders. So let's do that first. And if you don't want to emboss, obviously you could use like the 13 chipboard would go, or whatever number you're doing could go right on top of there. Let's pull this guy out for my test here. Actually, I could do let's do the cupcake, stamp the cupcake part first, and then we can play around with the embossing. One thing that's super fun too, if you've never seen this before, is that you can use the lids of my inks. That's a really easy way without even having a stamp block. Okay, so I know that this is gonna kind of be on top of here, and I'm okay with that. We're just gonna go for it. And I'm not gonna clean them off right now because I'm gonna be using that again. I think it's also a really great reminder that when you stamp on something like this, like you can still see through to the designs underneath. I'm gonna slip this under here when I do the other one. That's just luck that it only happened to be adhered in like the middle part rather than all around the whole thing. But I'm just gonna have that on there so that I can stamp off of the circle. And obviously C-A-K-E, so I'm not gonna have ton of space there, but I think that you'll probably, my hope is that we'll be able to read it, or we'll tell, obviously you'll be able to tell what it is because you can see that there's cupcake picture on the other side. You could stamp around here with these stamps. Like it's wide enough, but I think, like I said, I'm gonna just hand write a little something on there. Okay, fun. Okay, now so for this part, this is where I'm thinking of doing the number 13. This is where I wanted to test first. The other thing I could do, this page has a lot of green on it. I could do it in red instead of the green, partly because there is so much red over here and I already have a lot of green, so maybe a red might be better. But let's see what the copper looks like anyway, because maybe the copper will feel, obviously the copper is going to feel less green than those other pieces. So I'm using the large number stamps here. So let's just try it with the 3. We just need to test it. So I'm grabbing my Versamark. That's the embossing ink. Let's do them both. Let's try to do them both at the same time. See how good I am at that. And this is just my sample one, so I'm not caring if it's like not super perfect. So this one, the tinsel one, definitely has more like sparkle in it, which feels like that would probably make more sense for this one. But let's see what it looks like when it's heated. So this is the tinsel one, and then this is the just plain super fine. So I think either one of these obviously would work just fine. The tinsel one has more texture to it. The other one is flatter and dries smoother. So let's see on here. Okay, so the question again becomes, do I want to do red to tie it into that? So let's also try a red. For reds, I have a fired brick embossing powder. These are all both distressed. I have a red tinsel that is going to be crunchier. Okay, let's try those. And then I have green too, but I think I would rather have a red that would help tie that other page in here too. So let's try a couple reds and then we'll decide. Again, we're just doing a tester, so I don't care if it's perfect. I could tell when I was stamping with the Versamark, I have some red ink. Anna and I were working on a project for the family that we adopted this year, and I have red ink still on my fingers from that. So here's the tinsel one. Again, you can see way more, there's more sparkle in that, so it really just kind of depends on what you're looking for. But I think that the red is probably what I want to do on this one because of how much red is in that photo. Okay, so those ones didn't turn out as good. The fired brick, I always forget that this one, it's like a little darker because it's not a true red, and it doesn't dry, this, at least the version I have, which could be really old, doesn't dry as smooth as like the super fine one here. Also, the same with the tinsel, the red tinsel, because it has the like glittery components in it, it always looks like it's not dry all the way, it just has a more textured look. Okay, so now we just need to decide, let's see, I want to move this out of the way so we can take a closer look. Again, these are the kinds of things where this is not a right or a wrong, right? This is just what makes sense to you today. So we've got the copper, which might actually end up being just fine, and we have the red, which definitely brings in the other page there. So then it just becomes, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I think I'm going to go with the copper, and I'm going to figure out some other way to bring in a little bit more red over here, and it might be adding something onto one of these. I kind of want to just see. No, I think I gotta go with the red. I gotta go with the red because I don't have as many spaces where I could put in another red embellishment, so I think I am gonna do the red on there. All right, so, and I'm gonna use not the fired brick one. I'm gonna use the tinsel one. And for this, I'm definitely gonna need something underneath there. This is where I pull all my stuff out of I have like the garbage and the recycling here, where I just pull out scraps of paper to use underneath. Here's like one from a few days ago. Okay, so this is definitely gonna need that, at least on the bottom. Okay, so we're going with the red. Executive decision made. And as always, you don't have to emboss here too, right? You could just add on or stamp on there too. That would be super easy with the 1 and the 3. But I think I'm gonna do it with embossing. Just adds another fun little texture. The 13 on there. Actually, I can probably just pick this up, yeah, and then glue it back down again. Imperfect, but it will work. We don't strive for perfect around here anyway. Good reminder to wash your hands in between. The right choice for me in terms of the color, bringing in the color from the other page over to here. I think that's fun. So obviously on the back, like for tomorrow, my story is going to be some sort of circles that are going to go on here that will cover up the back. That's my plan. Okay, so next up I need to go print a photo. Try adding a photo onto this other one. It's going to be pretty small because I still want to have the December memories part. So I'm going to print one that's probably about 1.5, a 1.5 circle. So I'll go take care of that and then pop back on here. Okay, so I printed out a couple photos here. This is the 1.5 size. Obviously, I think that's too small. This is 1.75, and I'm trying to see if I have a punch for that. Otherwise, I will just hand cut it out. And then I think I'm probably gonna go with the black and white photo rather than the color photo. just really orange in here. So I think that I have a 1 1/4. Let me see if I can find that. All right, so here's one. I don't know what this one, maybe this one is, maybe it's 2 inches though. Let's try punching the 2-inch one. This will just give me a little bit of a border and we'll see how big that is, because that actually might work out just fine. Yeah, see, it covers up the December memories part is what I don't want. So still looking. Okay, so I guess I don't have, what's this one? I got a 2 1/4, a 2 inch, a 1 1/2. That's the 1 1/2, but no 1.75. All right, so I'm just gonna hand cut it then. This will trim it down a little bit. I want it to be able to fit underneath that December memories part. Okay, obviously not a perfect circle. That's fine. I was gonna use some foam adhesive there to just lift that up a little bit off of the back. And I also wanted to see, I think if I have one that says something about, yeah, I love that. Okay, that looks good. Happy with that. Just gonna look at the word phrase stickers. And see, or one of these maybe, see if I have something that I could add on to this one. I have that one over there, so I think I do want to have a different color. I wanted to show you guys here, like this, I wanted to show you my table just so you could kind of see in here right now. It's obviously blown out because I have the lights on. I don't always have to have the lights on during the day, but it's a little bit darker today and it just makes it a little more even. But I wanted you to see, like, this is my pile over here, right, of all of the things that I've been using. My hope today is to clean it up a little bit more before tomorrow. I think I'm gonna use the greatest gift for this one, and I'm just gonna have it go across there, which can kind of be, you know, related to their having a relationship with each other, right? Sisters. I think that would be fun. Okay, and I need to get it, I want it to be centered, because I'm going to trim it off along the edges. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this guy down, and then what I have left to do is, I know I want to do a little handwriting around the outside edge there. We'll adhere this guy down, which doesn't have to be perfect. I kind of feel like I might want to add like a star brad or something else onto this one to have a little bit of dimension on there. What else do I have here? I could do one of these little hearts too. Or a star. I think I'll do just one of these little white stars. That is good. Just gives it a little extra something. All right, okay, this is fun. It's turning out fun. And I am glad I did the red now that I look at it, just so that it makes sure it ties those things in. So last up here is I am just gonna, like I said, journal around the outside edge here. Kind of trying, I think, to stay in that space. It would also be fun, I think, to, like I said, to stamp around the outside, but I think having a little bit of journaling inside there is gonna be good. I'm gonna use a Slick Writer pen for this. We have these in our shop. They work well on photo paper. I always, always, always recommend though that you test it out on your photo paper first, because some work better than others. Some photo paper works better than others. See, even here, like this one today, whatever photo paper that one is, which is different than the bigger photo paper. Let's see, this one could also just be, this has been over at my desk. Else. There's also a Staedtler permanent. That one works pretty good. I might use that. And then just a regular precision pen. That's what I thought. Also works well. So I'm going to use the precision pen. This is one that we had for one little word at one point in time. It's just the .03, which we have in the shop. I think they like have an orange cap on them in the shop, but I'll link them for you as well. easy. Again, you could stamp around the outside. You could put like a half circle of text before you print it out in Photoshop if you're doing it that way. Lots of different options to achieve a similar look, even if you don't have the same things that I do, because remember, we are a translator of ideas. All right, wrapping this one up, I'm gonna put it into the album, get my photos taken, and then get it all uploaded. All right, we'll see you guys back here again tomorrow.